All right, everybody. So Mike and I on previous episodes have talked about the fact that we think, at least, that the Democrats are planning to drop a massive bombshell before inauguration. I hope at least before the inauguration. Now, this episode is not to fill you with any sort of false hope, but we do have videos of prominent Democrats, and the things they were saying are very cryptic and things that I think we should be paying attention to. Now, there's a reason though we wanted to do this episode. It wasn't just we're not conspiracy theorists. Okay, we don't buy into falsehoods. Okay,
Nope.
but there are several things about Donald Trump's campaign that bothered us. One, we call at the RNC event, and again at that recreation of the Nazi rally at Madison Square
Ugh,
Garden. Mike and I both said it. Like it bothered me that they were acting like they already won. They were celebrating a victory.
they
If you
were.
go back and look at all those events, that's what they were doing. I feel like they already knew they were going to win. They already had their plan in place. Okay.
Trump
So,
said it. Trump said we have the votes. He was telling
right.
people not to vote.
That's exactly the second point I
Oh,
was going to
sorry.
make.
That's
No,
fine.
you're good. Thank you very much. Third
Good
point I want to
segue.
make is Donald Trump saying about him and Mike Johnson have a
Mm,
secret plan to win the House and the Senate, which they just did. So
literally
there's
said
a
those
secret,
words.
right? Russia saying, hey, we did you that favor. Now it's time for you to, pay us back
And
and do that favor
that's not
for us.
Jeremy's opinion.
No, that's
Russian
Russia.
state TV has been speaking about how much they've helped the
Yeah,
election for Donald Trump and how much they're been part of it. They
right.
literally have been saying those things.
Yep. Uh, okay. The next point is Elon Musk allegedly knew the results hours before anybody else.
How would he know that?
Right. Exactly.
How would he know
How
that?
exactly would he know that? How did he get access to that information?
Yeah, the guy that has
Okay.
a network of satellites around the planet just happened to know that. Again,
Right.
we're not adding a conspiracy to the ether out there. We're just pointing out facts that don't seem, let's just say they're not savory. Something
Mhm.
doesn't taste right to them. We
Right.
don't know what they are, but when you look at what's going on and you look at the attitudes of a Trump and his surrogates leading up to
Mhm.
the election, there was no desperation. There was no
Nope.
effort made. They were just letting him go out there to basically empty crowds and ramble for 2 hours. There was
Yes.
no campaigning for a year or more from Donald Trump. It was just straight rambling.
It was awful. It was awful. We covered all of it, and I think that's why I was so shocked that he won because it was the most idiotic thing I've ever watched in my entire life.
But
All right, so I'm a numbers guy, and this is what bothered me the most. This is the one thing that bothered me the most. Donald Trump won all 7 swing states. Okay. The last president to do that was Obama. The last Republican president to do that was Ronald Reagan.
the two
So
most
you're
popular
telling me,
presidents in the last 50 years.
you're
Donald
telling me
Trump,
Donald Trump,
historically the least popular president in the last 100 years.
right? And he was even ranked the worst president in United States history.
And there's
And
no
he won
mandate.
all
He
7.
there's no mandate. The margin is like
Oh,
wafer thin, as they say.
mhm. The last thing
Uh,
I wanted to the last point I wanted to make is that nobody's calling for recounts. Okay. If in fact there was a massive fraud, recounts would be pointless. Okay. No recounts at all.
which, by the way, there's always like a recount, especially, again, I bring up the mandate point. Even on election night, even the next day, the next couple of days, the numbers were immediately going from really skinny margin to less. We're at the
Mhm.
point now where in those swing states alone, that margin barely, if at all, exists.
Yeah. So you're telling me Donald Trump ran the most idiotic, racist, ignorant
Garbage.
campaign in United States history, and he
One
won all 7
Pennsylvania?
swing states. Yeah, more popular than Obama and Reagan. You want me to buy that?
No.
You want me to not believe my own eyes that Kamala Harris was filling 35,000 seat
Yep.
arenas
Or believe facts.
packed? Right.
Like Trump could
And
say he was filling with 70,000 people. We could get those numbers and know how many people are there. You know how is
Right.
the first way to do it? Trump always makes up numbers that are bigger than the allowable number of people in every venue he talks about.
Every single venue. Yeah. We had 100,000 people.
You
That venue
didn't. You
only
were at a
had
park. You
15,000.
were at
Yeah.
a kids' park in a neighborhood. There were not 100,000 people there.
No. Okay, so we have 3 videos that we wanted to show you that we think are very important, very cryptic stuff. So first, let me show the Gavin Newsom one again. This is when he was recently visiting the border, and the video quality sucks. I apologize, but just listen to what he says.
I hope you can appreciate if I appear a little political, it's because I'm intentionally trying to be by not answering your question. And what I mean by that is I'm John Stewart, who wisely said, be patient. What happened will be revealed. I wrote out, I'm not making this up, there's about 6 pages I have in notes. They're at my mother and dad's grave in the car of everybody's punditry that completely contradicts everyone else's punditry about what happened. And I did that purposely for my own absorption and edification, that it will reveal itself. I don't have...
Like, that is one of the most uncomfortably pushed out, carefully crafted sentences or rambles I've ever heard. Now, he wasn't rambling the way Donald Trump rambles, aimlessly without any intelligible concept. Gavin Newsom is a good speaker. He is not someone that has historically been lacking for clarity in what he's saying. He knows how to speak. He knows how to use his voice. And everything he said there is hinting at, just don't worry about it. Something big is happening, and we will let you know when we can. If you understand how words work, you heard what he said by what he was not saying. And that's not one of those little liberal tricks where we're just putting words in people's mouths, okay?
Right.
If you understand language, you realize he was trying to not tell you something, but was telling you something that he can't tell you.
The question the reporter asked him was basically like, why are the Democrats rolling over and playing dead after the election?
Everyone's noticing it.
Right. And everybody's pissed. Like, why aren't you guys doing it? I'm pissed.
If this is true, which we both agree that this was the biggest election that will have immense consequences in either direction in our lifetimes, if not ever, we're not making that up. But if the Democrats, and we know they do, we know Kamala did or still does, believe that, why would they not ask for a recount? Just because history would have to know that there was that last safeguard of a recount.
Right. So why no recount?
That's weird, right?
Right. That is weird. Very weird. Especially after the last election. Like, how many recounts did we have on that? Jesus Christ. Okay, so the next video we have is AOC, member of the House. This was about, I think, a week after the election, and this is right off of her TikTok page. And she says very similar to what Gavin Newsom says.
But more, I think more,
right,
more telling. Another person who is not known to
right.
So listen how she's speaking.
I've been getting a lot of questions to this effect. What's the game plan? What do we do? What's the deal? And what happened is so massive that it's going to take just a second. It's coming, but it's going to take a second to share. I would say personally, as I'm thinking about this, I'm going to be doing a lot more direct communication. So I think I'll be planning on using my email list to give a lot more thorough and specific things about what's on my mind and how to prepare for things. But again, that's not just a shameless plug. I do have the link here, but my recommendation is to join and enter community.
So, yeah.
Get ready. We'll be putting out information in some simpler ways. She's not saying we're going to be putting out videos, email lists. That's weird, but that was very like, I'm not saying you have to watch a ton of AOC. I'm not saying you have to watch all these people all the time to understand their personalities. But if you hate AOC, you should at least watch her. And even you have to know that was very weird for her. Yeah. I know you might think she's an idiot. She is not. I know you might think she's just a flash in the pan. She is not. Republicans fear her. Democrats are starting to rally behind her. She's going
Mhm.
to run for one of the highest committees in Congress, okay, oversight committee. She's telling you something is coming,
Mhm.
but that we have to respect the process, I guess, and we have to wait and see. I know that's so cryptic, but that's the point. We're talking about people, the first two videos, and the third one will blow your mind, about people who are never cryptic.
Never. They're very direct. Like they know what they want to say. They say it. I mean, they don't hesitate. Like if they have something they want to say, these people say it, and they say it eloquently. They know how to speak. You know what I
Yep.
mean? They know how to. But for me, it just seems like, I mean, they're saying something big is coming. Like something so massive happened
Like they
that
wouldn't
it's
pull
going to
this up.
take time to absorb it and figure out what's next. So again, we're not saying something's coming. We're just trying to put the bits and pieces together because a lot of this stuff about the election just does not make any fucking sense to us, man. I'm
And
sorry.
again, notice none of them are mentioning recounts.
No,
None of them
no,
are
none.
mentioning anything. They're not even
No
using
court
the word,
cases.
they're not using the word election. Think about that. Not
Mhm.
so far in those videos, you haven't heard the word election. You haven't heard the word votes. You haven't heard the word ballots. You haven't heard the word
Right.
electoral college, popular vote. You haven't heard a single word that would let you know that they're talking about an election, but I think we all know what they're talking about. What they
Mhm.
mean, I have no idea.
Telling you, man, I'm not trying to get all hyped up and give everybody
No,
false hope, but at the same time, this gives me hope because I thought, like everybody else, that the Democrats were just rolling over, playing dead. Like that when Kamala Harris like conceded the day after the election, I was like,
mm,
what? What just happened? Like it doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you fight? Recount. Look at the numbers. Like none of this makes any sense to everybody.
now
So
we'll present our personal fantasies of what this could might mean after the last video.
yeah,
Again, they are not conspiracy theories. They're not predictions. They're not us telling anyone this is what's happening. Go spread this around the whole internet so people know. No, we don't know. We're just going to try and speculate for funsies what it might mean. But this
right.
next video, if you've never seen this person speak before, you won't get it. But if you've seen them speak before, it is the most uncharacteristic thing I've ever seen.
Right. So the next video we have is of Barack Obama. This was recently at his foundation's, I forget the name of the
Yeah, I
event,
don't remember.
but anybody that's ever seen Obama speak, Obama's one of the best speakers I think I've ever seen.
Yep.
And in this video, you could see that he is struggling to put together enough words to say what he wants to say without actually giving away
Yeah.
anything.
It's like
So
he's
let me go
struggling
ahead.
not to speak.
Right, and I've never seen him act like this.
At this point, you may be thinking, this all sounds pretty good, except pluralism depends on everyone following a certain set of rules. That's what you said, Obama. What happens when the other side has repeatedly and abundantly made clear they are not interested in playing by the rules? It's a problem. And when that happens, we fight for what we believe in. There are going to be times potentially when one side tries to stack the deck and lock in a, a permanent grip on power, either by actively suppressing votes or politicizing the armed forces or using the judiciary, the criminal justice system to go after opponents. And in those circumstances, pluralism does not call for us to just stand back and say, well, I'm not sure. That's okay. In those circumstances, a line has been crossed and we have to stand firm.
What the hell does that mean?
Come on, man. A line has been crossed. We have to stand firm. What what else does that mean?
I
I mean,
think
maybe I'm reading too much into it, but
no,
these
I don't
videos
think you
back to
are.
back to back
No,
even make me feel like we're even more on the right track.
you are not reading into it because if anyone's words or lack of words hold weight, to me personally, it's Obama. Not because I'm some giant obsessive fanboy. It's because the man knows how to use his speaking to electrify people. I remember what it was like, and I get it. If you're just a racist person, you won't understand it. The man electrified the population. No one has felt anything like that. Kamala was like a tenth of what Obama was. And I'm not exaggerating about that. Obama just said very, very important things, structural things, like this has never happened before, unprecedented, institutional. My personal opinion is that there may have been some sort of unprecedented infiltration of the voting systems. And I think we said it earlier, who may have been involved in that, potentially an Elon Musk, all these people. Remember when Elon sat on a couch and told Tucker Carlson, if we don't win this election, I'm going to prison?
Yeah, exactly.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So what I think is happening is that the Democrats, in line with Kamala immediately conceding, there's a part of me that believes what they saw coming was unstoppable at the moment, and they played rope-a-dope. And as risky as that and freaking perilous as that sounds, if they couldn't do anything about it, raising an alarm that would naturally just be unplugged isn't going to do anything. I personally think they've been working to prove and show something that is completely unprecedented. And the word fight, I think, of all of them, I think Gavin Newsom didn't say it, but AOC and Obama specifically spoke about actions. Gavin Newsom was like, just wait and hold. AOC and Obama said, we may have to fight. And when they said that, they did not smile. They didn't go fight. They almost meant it in a literal way. And that scares the shit out of me, because I think what may have happened, if something happened, we don't know, something is going to blow our freaking brains out of our assholes. But I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is.
I think it's going to be something. It's going to shake this country to its core.
I agree. I think it's going to be the holy shit. Here's not just the smoking gun. Here's the cannon, the Gatling gun, the missiles. Here's all of this ammunition. Look at it. That's what I think is coming.
Like Obama said,
I don't know.
They crossed the line. And when somebody crosses the line, you stand firm and you fucking fight for what you believe in. That's exactly what we need to do right now. We cannot roll over and play dead. Mike and I will never bow down to Donald Trump or any of his psychotic cabinet. There's no way in hell I'm ever going to cooperate with that. Throw me in one of the camps. I don't give a shit. I would be better off there than living in this dystopian fascist MAGA shit show that we're getting ready to see.
And those are all the feelings that I think they were saying without saying them, because they are not, they can't get hysterical. They can't start making people feel like there's something specific, because they aren't going to give away what's happening. I just feel like something's coming. I don't know what we will do with that. I don't know what it's going to look like. But there's also a fearful confidence in them that scares me. They're not like, well, we'll see, we'll get over this, our democracy will survive. They're not using those words. They're letting us know, in my opinion alone, that we may have to get ready for something so scary we cannot imagine it. I don't know.
So will our democracy survive? Well, we're going to see. Are the Democrats going to fight? Well, only time will tell. Are Mike and I right? Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. But if we are right, you heard it here first. Okay.
That's true.
Because I mean, like I said, I'm not a conspiracy guy. Even though they can be entertaining.
They're funsies.
I don't live in the world of conspiracies like MAGA does on Earth too.
I like facts and information.
Right. These are prominent Democratic leaders telling us something massive happened. They crossed the line. We have to stand firm and fight what we believe in. That's what they're telling us right now. And we need to listen to what they're saying, because I think a lot of people are ignoring a lot of this stuff because they're like, oh, they're not doing anything about this. They're just going to
And
let
I
it happen.
think, honestly, not that I don't want to say that that's part of the plan, but I think that plays into their advantage because everyone is focused on how absolutely batshit fucked up Donald Trump's cabinet picks and his administration is, and him, and all this crap about the 14th Amendment. And that he might even be more ridiculous now that he has the confidence of being in power again, that he's just going to be, I mean, he's talking, he tweeted about Gavin Newsom being the governor of the 51st state. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So
And he
I think
also told,
this keeping us in the dark thing is necessary.
it is. And yeah, and let's not forget Donald Trump. Another lie he told is he admitted recently on Meet the Press that he can't guarantee prices won't go up. So whatever, man. You voted for this shit. Yeah. You know what though? Mike and I will never have to be embarrassed about who we voted for. Trump supporters will. All right. So if you guys like, you can just make your minds up for yourselves. You know, we think something's happening. Like I said, I don't want to give anybody any false hope, but I don't think the Democrats are just going to lie down and play dead and let
I don't think
this
it's going to
happen.
be a good thing. I don't know that hope is the word. I don't think whatever's going to happen is going to be like, oh, it's fixed. That
No,
is
it's going to
not
be a
what's coming.
giant. It's going to be a mess.
Yeah,
Whatever
it's going to be
happens,
ugly.
whether
Like
Trump
ugly.
gets inaugurated or whether the Democrats do have a plan, whatever happens is going to be an absolute
Yep.
disaster. But it's all Donald Trump's fault.
Hey,
It's
don't forget,
100% Donald Trump's fault.
according to Donald Trump, Kamala Harris has the right and the responsibility to reject the certification.
Oh, God, that's right. He did say that the vice president has that authority. I don't know. If Russia was involved, I don't see how we could certify this election.
I don't know. It's almost like the Supreme Court just gave a sitting president the right to do anything necessary, and he can't be held criminally liable if it's in an official act.
Oh my God. So anyway, that's all we have for today, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to support us in other ways, there's a bunch of different ways you could help us grow. Okay, sharing the video, liking the video, subscribing to the video. That's really all we ask for. If you would like to donate to the show, we do have a GoFundMe link in the description. Again, all the proceeds from the donations go towards getting studio equipment, so we can be like a legit, operation here. Right now, we're held together with bubble gum and tape right now.
It's duct tape, so it's the best tape you could get. But
that's right. Yeah. Other than that, like always, guys, we love you all. Thank you for the support, and we'll talk to you soon.